All right, what's up, everybody? This is the Sound Off Man, and today's rant is gonna be about working a 9-to-5 job. So, all right, so a lot of people work 9-to-5 jobs because they don't know their worth. This is the thing. I'm not like, well, I am kind of dissing people, but the thing is, when you're working a 9-to-5, you're essentially working somebody else's dream. You're working for $1 million or $1 billion company, and they're only paying you a percentage of what you're actually worth. So if you gross about 50,000, you'll probably only see about 10,000 of that. So you wonder, like, where's that other 40,000 going? Yeah, that's for the job, buddy. That's why it's called a 9-to-5. Like, you're dispensable. Like, unless you're a fucking doctor, fucking lawyer, police officer, and if you're working for the government, you're still a fucking tool. So, like, you know what I mean? But essentially, my whole thing is, and why I'm ranting about this, is because, fucking noise pollution. But I used to fucking work a 9-to-5. And I tell people all the time, they're like, so what do you do now? Well, I'm investing, so I have enough saved up and enough invested where I don't have to work a 9-to-5. So I tell people, do what you got to do, but there's the reason. Let me tell you this. I tell people this all the time. You realize there's a reason why people go to college, right? Because they're trying to get a career. Like, that 9-to-5 is a fucking job. So it's like a difference. But a lot of people, they don't understand the difference between a career and a job. So they're just like, oh, apply. Because if you think about it, why don't you see? You can see that's where the whole phrase "broke college kid" comes from. Because motherfuckers would rather be broke than working a 9-to-5, working somebody else's dream, because we're looking for the long picture. So in the future, when we have a career, you'll still be working at that job miserable. So I tell people, like, yeah, it is a fucking rant, and some people are not gonna like it, because the people are like, oh, I work a 9-to-5. Well, you're fucking working for somebody else's dream. And I tell people that all the time. Like, I got friends, they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, bro, so what I'm doing right now, I can go to New York, I can go to LA, I can go to Miami. I can pretty much go to any fucking state and work whenever I want to work, you know? So, like, you just got to start understanding and knowing your work, and stop working for other people's dreams, and do what you gotta do, what's best for you. And don't get me wrong, and if that is working, like, and I'll say this, because I used to, it's not even too long ago. We're talking probably like 3 years ago, when I was working when I was working for Amazon. But you start to realize, like, wait a minute. So I'm waking up every day just to make somebody else some fucking money. Because these motherfuckers are getting paid in salary. You're getting paid per the hour. So that's when you start to realize, like, oh, this is like it's like a fucked up seesaw. Like, this dude's way up here and I'm way down here. So it don't, like, all he has to do is show up. Like, if I don't show up, if I get sick, I'm not getting paid. But the guy who's getting paid in salary, all he has to do is fucking show up. Or even if he's sick, he's still getting paid. But a lot of people don't understand that, and they're just like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, that's why they say you're working for somebody else's dream. Like, because your manager, they're getting paid in salary. They're not fucking getting paid per hour. And all they got to do is show up. Even if they don't show up, they're still going to get paid. You see what I'm saying? So, like, that's why I tell people, like, if you are going to work a 9-to-5, just use it as a stepping stone to get to where you want to be. Don't be complacent and be like, you know what? And there's nothing wrong with living paycheck to paycheck. Like, I'll say, like, a lot of people do it. I mean, there was a time where I was doing that, just living paycheck to paycheck, doing that. But that shit sucks, I'm going to tell you right now. Because something's going to come up. Like, it always happens. Like, it'll probably be good maybe, like, the first 2 weeks, just getting through, you're working your job or whatever. But something's going to come up, and you're going to have to make some sacrifice, whether it's like not paying your phone bill or just skipping out on the bill. Something's going to be late. It's either something's going to be late, or you're literally going to be a fucking workhorse. You're going to be working like 40 hours per week, backbreaking, doing whatever you're doing. I tell people all the time, I know some people, well, I don't want to say I know them, but I see people all the time working at places. I just use them as motivation, because you don't want to be like that 40-year-old, 50-year-old guy fucking working at a store you don't want to work at, but you got to work for money. You shouldn't work because you want money. No, you shouldn't work because you shouldn't work because you want money. You should be working because you need money to buy the things that you want. That's what I say. That's one of my phrases that I like to tell the people. A lot of people say, wait, that makes no sense. So you told me, but the whole point, but you got to understand the bigger picture of what I'm saying. Like, if you're just working because you want money, you're going to be fucking working for the rest of your life. As opposed to if you're working because you need money to survive, you're going to start using things as stepping stones to get where you want, opposed to working a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life. Because I know some people who are stuck in that cycle, man. They can't do nothing but work a 9 to 5 because they don't know their worth. They think they're worth $15 in fucking hour. And it's like, you think you're worth $15? Go ahead and work that fucking job. Because you realize there are people out here making millions right now. As we speak, there's probably a new millionaire that just been breeded. Or people are spending thousands of dollars right now. People are, and that's not to saying you should be comparing yourself to anybody. But you should want better for yourself and not working for somebody else's dream because you're fucking your boss, your manager, whatever. And the other thing is, you shouldn't even want a fucking boss or a manager. Like, if that's why I say a lot of people, they just don't know their worth. Like, they think you have to wake up, go to work, and clock in and have a boss. Like, you realize there's people who work in the office, right? Yeah, they have bosses and shit, but there's a reason why, like, when you go to office and shit, their turnover rate is not like as bad as like a store, because they come in, they know what they got to do, and 9 times out of 10 they're getting paid in salary. So that's why they're working. Like, any like real person who's like working at, like, your managers and shit, that's salary. And like, I tell people all the time, can you show me the story about the guy who's been working a 9 to 5 since he was like 20 or 30, and now his success story, it just that doesn't happen. There's no such thing. There's no guy who's been working at Wendy's for 20 years and now he owns like 5 houses. It just doesn't happen like that. He's either a fucking manager or he's an assistant manager or something. Then yeah, but that's not success though. You're a fucking manager, so you should be making that money. There's no stories about it. The employee who's been working there, which is, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's your life. If you want to work at a Wendy's or a BK for 20 years, go ahead and waste your life, man. I'm telling you right now. The money that you'll make in 20 years, there's literally somebody who's going to make that in a fucking year. Like, and that's why I told you, like, just know your worth. Like, really know your worth. And when you get your paycheck and stuff and your taxes, actually look at it. Like, yes, but just look at how much you're actually grossing compared to how much you actually are making. Then you'll start to realize, like, holy shit, I'm really working for somebody else's dream right now. I'm gonna be fucking broke for the rest of my life. Like, but people don't understand that. They just think like, oh yeah, I'm just clocking in and going to work and I'm working for money. Yeah, you're working for money that's not even gonna fucking be around in like 10 years, because everything's like the whole dollar. Like, I tell people all the time, like, in 30 years, the fucking people are gonna be laughing at us. Like, dude, they used to have fucking dollars and they used to use this paper stuff for money. Like, this money's gonna be a fucking thing of the past. Like, in like 20 to 50 years, don't get me wrong, the value still will be there, but money is gonna be a thing of the fucking past. And like, that's why they're fucking putting robots. So they're trying to replace you motherfuckers that work at fucking supermarkets and shit. That's why they got all that self-checkouts. That was a test. So you don't have to, but they realize that self-checkout is a fucking, a lot of people like to use that as a theft deterrent. So they're like, wait a minute, you just can't have all self-checkouts, because then everybody would just be stealing shit all the time. You gotta hire some people. And you got people, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with loving your job, but I'm telling you right now, that job don't love you. Because here's the thing, you gotta realize, if this job can't give you a salary, or if you can't go to your manager right now and say, hey, can I get a raise? And if he has to say, oh, let me talk, and don't get me wrong, you can take that, but if he keeps beating around the bush, it's probably time for you to fucking find somewhere else to go. Because when people who work in offices and all that shit, when they go to talk to their boss and they get a raise, that boss is not like, it's either going to be a yes or a no. He's going to tell you right there. He's not gonna have to talk to like 20 different people just for you to get $2 raise, because you want to work for $15, which is fucking highway. It's highway robbery. Like, I don't know. Can you show me the person who's working for $15 an hour, who's paying rent? Like, no roommates. I'm talking about you have your own shit and you're working for $15 an hour. Can you show me this person? Because it just doesn't exist. Like, there's nobody out here right now who's working for $15 an hour who has their own fucking place. Like, you have a roommate or you were living with your fucking parents. So, you know, that's what I tell people. Like, just start to know your worth. Like, if you feel like if you want to keep working for $15, they're gonna keep fucking paying you for $15. Like, that's why when I was working and shit, I was trying to get people. I was trying to get some of the other employees, but you know, people are fucking scared, man. People are scared. They don't want to they don't want to challenge their boss. And it's not even challenging, but my whole thing, what I was trying to tell people was, I was trying to tell them, what we can do is, it's not going on strike, but essentially what we can do is we can push for higher employment. So if you got like 10 plus people like, hey, can we get a raise? Can we get a raise? Can we get a raise? The boss keeps hearing that, he's gonna start to, you know, see and overlook that. But a lot of people was like, oh, no, I don't want to ask for a raise. And it's like, oh, so you want to keep working for $15 fucking an hour, huh? Like, it's back-breaking shit. Like, something happens to you, motherfucker, you're just gonna get replaced. Like, but you know what, man? It's life, right? I guess somebody has to do it. But this is what I would say: if you find yourself in that situation, just try to get the fuck out of that situation as fast as possible. Like, if it's, you gotta maybe take like the first 2 checks or whatever and just get the fuck out. I mean, but my whole thing is, even if you do, you're still gonna have to work like 40 hours, maybe 40. So you're gonna be working for the rest of your life, like for $15 an hour, what, 30 hours a week. You're gonna make like $600 or $700. What the fuck are you gonna do at $600 or $700? Like, where are you paying rent at? Like, what are you actually doing with that? Like, that's what I'm saying. Unless you're like a fucking some high school kid and all you gotta do is pay a phone bill, then be my fucking guest, go work for $15. But I don't know any place where you can pay rent for $600 around here. Working for $15 an hour, getting paid every 2 weeks. It's just ridiculous. That's why most of these people are like just living, they're fucking packed. Like, living packed. Like, you got like 3 people living in one fucking place because people can't afford shit. And it's the harsh reality of it. Like, motherfuckers gotta pack up. Nobody wants to pay that shit. I don't blame them, though, man. I don't blame them. But that's why you see me and shit. I gave up all that shit. The fucking, all this stuff that I used to care about. Like fucking the clothes, sneakers, all the designer stuff. I gave all that shit up because I realized that was partially holding, it wasn't like all the way holding me back, but it was holding me back because it didn't make no sense for you to be spending like $200, $300, maybe like $500 just on clothes and shit that I'm not even wearing like that. And you realize, like, you know what, I have to cut back on that. But to be honest, the main reason why I made this rant is because I know some people who, like, they think like, oh, you're wrong about that, man, you're wrong. And it's like, dude, you gotta eventually move on. But you know, like they say, right? Somebody has to do it, right? Somebody has to do the dirty work. Just don't let it be you, I guess. That's what we could say. Also, too, like, why would you want to, I guess a lot of people just don't want to be like their own boss, I guess. And it's not even about being your own boss, but you got to learn how to make money, like, on your own. And, like, there's a reason why the rich are getting rich right now. And people working for $15 right now, because you got to start figuring out ways how to make money when you're making money. Like, for instance, I'm making money right now. Like, I got my stocks booming. I mean, don't get me wrong, the market's closed today, but every day when the market is open, there's an opportunity for me to make money, and it's passive income. And then I also have dividends that I'm invested in. So every month in dividends, I'm getting about maybe like $200 just off of investing. I don't got to do shit. That's just off of investments that I have that's in my account. That's just gonna come to me every month. No delays, no nothing. It's just off of stuff that I invested in. And I will say this, yeah, I did get lucky, because during the pandemic, I just wasn't fucking around, where everybody was just, sitting around, feeling sorry. Everybody wanted to have pity and feel sorry for themselves. I'm like, you know what? This is where I'm about to get up on this stock shit and just start fucking researching, like reading books on everything. And like, it took a little while, but my whole thing is you just got to take that initiative and just invest. Like, you can't be fucking just sitting around waiting for somebody to tell you to invest, because it's never gonna happen. Because that was my problem. I didn't know where to start, but fuck not knowing where to start, just start. And I tell people all the time, I literally took my last, I think it was like my last 300, and I just threw all that shit in there. I was like, fuck it. Came back like a week later just to check on it. It was already at 500, and I didn't know what was going on. I just seen it. But that's how I actually learned the market, because I was looking like, wait, how did it go from 200 to 500? You start seeing like, oh, this shit was growing. Then you realize you get that dividends from whatever. But like, if you are gonna do that, here's the thing, I'm not telling people, like, I mean, you could do whatever the fuck you want, but me personally, I would rather invest before I work a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? Because it's miserable, man. I see it all the time, man. These people, they don't want to fucking be there. They want to be outside, but they gotta go to a job that they're stuck to because they don't know their worth. Like, I know my worth. I'm not worth fucking $15 an hour. Like, so what the fuck do I look like going to work for $15 an hour? Like, I tell people, if it's not at least 20 to 25, don't even fucking offer me it. Like, I'm crazy. Like, who? And then on top of that, I would just feel like a fucking complete idiot, because it's like, wait a minute. I graduated high school, all these places, just to do this. Because, like, you don't need a fucking diploma to work at these places. So, you see what I'm saying? Like, don't go wasting your time, because you only got one life. And if you want to waste your time working for somebody who doesn't give a fuck about you, be my guest. You essentially you guys just got to start taking initiative, start learning how to make money on your own and passive income while you're sleeping. Like, once you figure that out, you'll be like, oh my god, I've been wasting my time working this company and they're making millions off me. Like, you're like, yeah, this is why you're fucking broke, dude, because you're working a 9 to 5 and you're working for $15 an hour while your manager's getting paid in salary and he's driving the fucking car to work and you're taking the train. See what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't understand that. They're like, wait a minute, no, you're gonna be working there for the rest of your fucking life. Like, at that rate, it just doesn't happen, man. Like, that's what I'm saying. If you can't personally go to your manager and ask him for a raise, then you should probably fucking leave that place then. Like, like, just long story short, what I would say is, anything has to be at least $20 an hour, at least 20 to 25, which I know is hard, because all the $20 to $25 places, which is not fucking hard. Anybody can do a resume, you know what I mean? Shit, I mean, if it came down to it, you can literally pay somebody to fucking do your resume, because all a resume is you just fucking blowing smoke up somebody's ass. Like, that's all a resume is. You're just blowing smoke up somebody's ass. This is what I can do. This is what I can do. Like, it's a fucking piece of paper, dude. It's like I tell people with the diploma shit, like, dude, it's a fucking piece of paper, bro. You can't let a piece of paper define your whole life. Like, but if that, it's It's just not the wave, man. And I say this because a lot of people don't realize this until like later. So like if you're still young, you're still doing that, just don't do it. Like even if it's like, because sometimes easy money is not the best money. Just because it's easy doesn't mean you should, oh, it's easy money, I'm not gonna quit. Like, yeah, and that's part of your problem. That's what's holding you back, because you just want everything that's fucking easy in life. This is why you'll never reach your goals. You're too complacent. Like, you just want everything to be easy. You just want to come in, clock in, somebody to have you on a string, and you just start to realize, like, holy fucking shit. Maybe like 5 years of my life, like, I lost almost a fucking $1 million because I've been working for this company for $15 an hour. And like, during that 5 year span, there's people making fucking thousands, and you're making like 600 a fucking week. Like, I mean, what are you, a fucking high school kid? What are you gonna do with $600? Gonna buy some shoes? Cause you sure ain't paying rent with fucking $600, especially not around here. I'm gonna say it one more time. If anybody can find me a place that, or if anybody who's around here who's working for $15 an hour and you're living around here, can you please show me? Because I would like to get one of those places too. Because that shit is just unheard of. Like, it's just unheard of, bro. Like, these motherfuckers are roomed up, like 3 fucking roommates. It just doesn't happen. My thing is like this. Noise pollution. There's a reason why people take out fucking loans, like, and I'm not saying go take out shit, do whatever the fuck you want to do, but if you want to take out a loan, just know what the fuck you're doing. And like, because building credit is like, it's one of the easiest, but it's not. I'll put it like this: building your credit is probably one of the easiest things you can do. Like, so for instance, like maybe, let's say like 5 years ago, it probably would have been a little bit harder trying to build your credit. But now they have programs where you can get cards, and guess what? You put your phone bill in that card, and your credit's going to be building every month, right? And you just need get like 800 or something. You can get a fucking $50,000 loan. But this is the thing, I'm not telling nobody to go do that. You want to go fuck off $50,000 and not pay it back? Be my guest. I mean, a lot of people do it all the time, because a lot of people are like, hey, fuck it, I'm gonna fucking die anyways, right? But that's the thing, if you that's just too fucked up. I wouldn't recommend that, like, unless you're I don't even want to put no ifs or buts out there. Just don't do that. I mean, definitely, if you're gonna take out a loan, try to pay that shit back, because they're gonna be on your fucking ass like hard. Because I know people who are still like paying off loans, because the trick is they just give you the credit card, right? They're like, here's a credit card for you, go spend that shit. But you don't realize, like, this is not your money. So when you see these people with credit cards, that's not their fucking money. Like, that's why when you swipe that shit and it's like over like $2,000, you're gonna get a call like, hey, did you just purchase something for yeah, because that's not your fucking money, dude. Like, you gotta understand that. Just because you can get a credit card, but just learn how to fucking use it right. Like, and that's why most people just have debit cards, because it's just debit card, everything on it is yours. You can't overdraw, you know what I mean? Because a credit card could be dangerous. Like, I know everybody wants one because it's just like, oh shit, just swipe, but that shit is fucking dangerous, bro. Like, unless you're gonna read between the fine line, which nobody fucking reads that shit, which more people should. I mean, I have a so essentially I'm in the process, I actually have the Apple credit card, you know what I mean? And I read that shit carefully, because I'm like, you know what, before I get this card, let me read this shit. Because most people, when they get a credit card, they just want to fucking buy a car, right? They want to buy a car and then fucking be broke. Like, I'm not gonna fucking go buy a car. That's just the stupidest thing you can do in today right now. Like, when you're gonna buy a car you can't fucking afford, just to get you somewhere, then you gotta pay for parking, then you gotta pay for gas, and you gotta pay for insurance. Like, it's not just buying a fucking car. That's what people don't understand. It's just like, no, buddy, there's like more bills. It's not just buying a car. You got to get the insurance. You got to, like, there's mad shit you got to do. And then by the time you get all that, you're going to get fucking fucked up the ass, because you're going to have to either pay all that back because you either took out a loan to buy that car, or you're just going to be in debt for the rest of your life driving a fucking car. I'm telling you, bro. I know so much people like, yeah, they have a nice fucking car, but this, you realize that's not really not his car. Like, because if the moment he fucking goes to jail or some shit happens to him, they're seizing that motherfucking car if he can't pay for it. He didn't pay for that shit. He took out a loan to buy that shit. That's not his car. Like I tell people, like, dude, anybody can get a fucking car. Like, it's not hard. Thing is, can you pay for that fucking car? And are you gonna pay for the car? Because, like, you know, that's why most people, when they do it, they either, for the first one, they either just get like some used shit because they just want to go with the flow, you know. That's usually for people who got money, like, you know what I mean? If you got money, you can just go fucking go straight to the dealership and pay for that shit, get a car, you're good. But just start to, I tell people all the time, just start to know your finances and get familiar with that shit, because a lot of people are fucking naive. They just don't know shit. Like, a lot of people walk around here like they know everything, and it's like, dude, you're gonna be miserable for like the next 10 years if you think that's the way to go. I tell people all the time, like, yeah, dude, I got a credit card, I got all that shit. We can go to the Louis Vuitton store right now and swipe, but for what? Who am I impressing again? You? Like, no. Like, but that's the thing. You gotta have different mindsets, but you need different people in this world. You can't have everybody on the same, because can you imagine if everybody's like, oh, I just want to save and do this? Dude, there'll be like so much fucking commotion going on because everybody's just so alike. You can't have that. So you gotta have those people who are doing the stupid shit in the world, and all those people who just don't know shit. So I guess you can tell them. But that's the thing, though. I don't like to be like a teacher or shit like that, or telling people what. And it's not even telling people what to do. It's just like setting people up for the future. Because, like, I tell people all the time, like, maybe in like 2 to 10 years, like, everything's gonna change around here. Like, that's why I tell people, like, you see, they're building condos and shit. They're building condos and they're building schools right now. So, what does that tell you? That they're trying to push the rent up. Rent is going up. So rent, all that stuff is going up. That's why they're building all these condos. They're building more schools and more condos. So sooner or later, like I told people, Boston and New York are some of the most expensive fucking places to live right now. Like, it's like, you used to living here in Boston, you used to be able to get like a place. You used to be able to get a place for maybe like $1,000. You can get like a 2-bedroom for $1,000. Now you'll be lucky to even fucking find some shit like that, because people gotta group up. That's why you got like 3 motherfuckers living in one room and shit, or 2, one apartment. And that living room is not a living room anymore. That's somebody's fucking room. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, money, what they say, money's not everything, but if you don't have no money, what the fuck can you really do? Because I tell people all the time, the pandemic exposed everything. Like, if you don't got no money, you're kind of fucked. Like, because, like, you're either going to be working for it or you're going to be begging for it. And either one, I mean, if you're working for it, and if it ain't 20 plus an hour, I don't know. Everybody has different goals and different aspirations. Some people just want to work so they can get a new outfit, right? Some people want to work so they can pay their phone bills. Some people want to work so they can go on a vacation. And it's like, while you're doing that, there's some dude just sitting in the office, sitting on his ass. Like, he just made like maybe $2,000. He just made your whole salary in like one fucking day. That's why I'd say, like, don't get me wrong, don't compare yourself to anybody, but just know, like, people are making moves, big fucking moves out here, while you're just sitting around just hoping and praying like you can finally do something. And it's just not gonna happen like that. You just can't sit around and fucking wait and hope. Like, I hope I can get a raise. I hope my boss will give me this. Nah, you gotta go up to your boss. Tell your boss that you want a fucking raise. And if your boss can't give you a raise, it's probably time for you to move on then. Because like I said, that man who, whether it's your assistant, manager, those motherfuckers are getting paid in salary, not per hour. So all they gotta do is show up. They don't give a fuck. or why would they care about your little problems? But yeah, man, this is the sound off, man. This was a rant about the 9-to-5 jobs. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. This is almost 30 minutes, and I wanted to make, I don't know, we'll try it out, you know. This is just all raw videos. I don't want to do too much edits and shit, because, you know, I'm not like that guy who's editing, gotta fix the camera. Oh, don't look good in this shot. Oh, let me edit that out. No, this is the harsh reality of what's going on and working a 9-to-5. The stuff nobody would tell you, like knowing your worth, because your boss would never go up to you and say, hey, you're not worth $15 an hour. He's gonna pay you that $15 an hour. Your boss would never tell you what you're worth, or he's not gonna fucking encourage you to ask for more. Why? And you would think, right? Why wouldn't my boss, who I'm going to work for, coming into work every day, why wouldn't he want better for me? Like, why wouldn't your boss want you to have the money that you can have to get to work every day and be happy? Like, why would you want to pay your employees $15 because companies are fucking cheap? And these $1 million companies, that's what I tell people. These companies are worth fucking millions, and they're paying you 15. Like, just get that through your head. Like, it's not a money thing. They can pay you $20. They're just fucking cheap. And you guys don't know what you're worth. That's why they don't pay you that. Like, you can't, it's just unheard of for you to go to a fucking office and they're like, oh yeah, we're working for $15. Like, dude, that shit would be on strike so fucking fast. Like, who's working for $15 an hour? Like, who? Like, what? This is not 2012. Or better yet, just any fucking year. Like, just please know your worth, people. Just know your worth. If you feel like you're worth $15, keep working for $15. And I guarantee you, I'll go to your job. I'll go to New York, LA. I'll fucking travel around the world, and you'll still be working there. And it's just sad, man. You gotta want better for yourself. That's why when I was working at Amazon, dude, I didn't even fucking put the 2 weeks notice in. I just fucking left, dude. Like, I don't got time to be fucking going up to the boss like, yeah, this is not really working for me, and like and they're like, oh, and you know, you have other employees I was talking to, because they're like, oh, you're just gonna leave? I'm like, yo, if you leave, you know, you might. I'm like, dude, do you think I don't care about having this as a reference? Fucking Amazon, are you kidding me right now? Like, that's you guys' problems. You guys want references, and you want pieces of paper. Like, I don't need a piece of paper or a reference to define me. Like, I can go up to a fucking boss or a manager, a general manager, and talk to him and explain to him why I would want to work there, opposed to showing you a piece of paper that has all my credentials on it. Like, yeah, this is me. Like, no, let's have a fucking conversation, Mr. General Manager. Like, I can tell you tell me what you want, and I can tell you what I can provide. Like, it's that simple. Like, so next time you go for a job application or anything, which I wouldn't recommend you go for no fucking job. If it's not $20 an hour, don't even go wasting your time. And you're like, so what am I gonna do? All right, I'll put it like this. If you're a high school kid, then, but even if you're a high school kid and you're still working for 15, you're still getting fucked up the ass, because you're making like $600. What are you gonna do? You're gonna buy a pair of Jordans and the fucking pair of shoes and do that every week? That shit's gonna get old fast. Like, my whole thing is, like, if you do go for a job, or if you do that, ask your boss or whoever it is, which was crazy, right? Because why would you want a fucking boss? Like, some people don't understand that concept. Like, wait, boss, this, like, you wanna wake up every morning, clock in, boss, can I go to the bathroom? Boss, can I go on break? Going on break, boss. Like, it's just fucking miserable. Like, you don't want that to be your life for the next however many years you're gonna be working for. You gotta want better for yourself. Like, and if you gotta sacrifice fucking being broke for a while, I guarantee you, because money, like I said, money is not fucking everything. Like, don't let these people fool you, because money isn't, you don't need, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you don't need money. I'll say this, you don't need money to be happy, because that's what a lot of people think. They'll think like, oh shit, I'll get, if I ever came up on this money, I'll be happy. But you gotta realize, you probably won't even be happy, because if you're not happy now and you come up on money, you're just gonna be even more miserable when you get the money. So you gotta pretty much I'll put it like this: you gotta work for what you want, but you also can't just sit around and thinking good things are gonna come. Because I used to be like that. They used to say good things come to those who wait. Yeah, you're gonna be fucking waiting for a long ass time. You'll be sitting there just waiting all day while there's people passing by you making millions of dollars and thousands. You're just gonna be sitting there like, when is my time gonna come? Like, your time's never gonna come. You just gotta go out there and make an effort and actually push and want. Because like, if you, like when I was working at Amazon, like if I never went to my boss and was like, yo, what about the raises? He was been like, oh yeah, we have. And he was like, you know what I mean? And it was just that simple of me just going to him and talking to him. But that's the thing, they're not gonna come up to you and be like, hey, you want a raise? Like, no, if you want a raise, you gotta go ask for that shit. Like, also too, show that you're worthy of a raise. So you just can't be the guy who's like, give me a raise, and it's like, okay, we gave you a raise now, so now what? We're just gonna keep giving you a raise. Make yourself worthy of actually getting a raise. So when that time comes, it's not even a question. They're like, oh, give him a raise. You know what I mean? Like, they just know. They just automatically know, like, yep, he's doing what he has to do. But that's the thing, though. I don't know, man. Like, and it's tough. It's tricky, right? Because you're like, because what I just said, it's like, you know, I'm pretty much essentially saying you shouldn't work a job. And I know that sounds kind of fucking crazy, but what I'm really, really trying to say is, if you're gonna work a job, just know your worth. And like, understand how much money these companies are actually making. Like, do you know your company's net worth? Like, some of these companies make almost like 100,000 a fucking week, and you start to realize, like, wait a minute, I never even seen $10,000 in my life, and you telling me you guys made 100K, and you in your taxes, and it says you're grossing like 50,000. You're like, 50,000? I only get like 8,000 on taxes. So where you know what I mean? So that's why I say you just gotta really start knowing your worth, and you'll be like, all these years I've been working for $15 and I've been fucking pretty much playing myself. And I realized that's why when I left Amazon, I didn't put no notice in. I was just like, yeah, I'm out of here. I've got bigger things to work on. I'm not gonna be working for somebody else's dream. You know what I mean? Because that's all you're doing. You're just making that company, especially a company like Amazon, like, and it shouldn't even be an excuse for them. Like, obviously they put their raises up now, but it's still not a good, like, I wouldn't say it's worth it. It's still not worth it, because you gotta have, because when I was doing it, I was working like almost 30 to 40 hours, and I could have worked more, because that's how much people were fucking, that's what the turnover rate was so bad. Like, they was just giving people hours out the ass. Like, I could have literally been there from morning to closing, which would have been ridiculous, because nobody wants to do that. Because what I was doing when I was at Amazon, I was just scanning the packages out. So I would just be working in the back, scanning the packages out, getting packages for people, making sure they're all scanned, so when they do go out, everything's confirmed. And it was just me and like one other person, but we had our own side. So it was just you and a bunch of fucking boxes all day. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know that sounds good, but it goes back to what I said. Just because something's easy doesn't mean you should fucking do it. Or like, oh, it's easy money, so I'll work here. Just see, I would have still been working at Amazon fucking packing boxes right now. Like, not being free though. Like, not being able to come outside, do whatever I want. Like, for instance, food, money, clothes doesn't mean shit anymore, because you realize, like, when I was working and doing all that stuff, I was working to buy those things. But when you actually get money, and there's money in your bank account, you could wake up every day and you're like, you know what, feeling good. You don't even fucking care about shit like that no more. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about no, you know, none of that stuff. and that's sometimes that was the sacrifice that I made. Like the sacrifice I made was just quitting my job, which I'm not telling nobody to quit their job, but if you want to have bigger things, you're gonna have to want better for yourself, and at least, or going back to what I said, work for at least $20 an hour. Because even like anything under 15, it's not plausible. Like, especially if you're trying to eventually like get your own place, and if you want to get a car and all that stuff, you know what I mean, you're gonna need $20. That's what I would say. Like, but a lot of people just wouldn't understand that. But it could be possible. Like when I was saying about the Amazon thing. No, not Amazon. It was the other job I had. I was trying to it was me and like 2 other people. Like, we were just pushing. We were trying to tell them like, hey, because they were paying us. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't 15. It was around like 17, which still sucks. Like, you'll be making like every 2 weeks, $17 an hour. You'll make like 800. This is not bad, but you still can't do nothing. Like, even if you can do something, you'll probably be spending all of that on rent because you're probably living with somebody. Guarantee you. If you're making 800 every 2 weeks, you're definitely living with somebody. You definitely have roommates, or you're definitely living with your fucking parents. So it's just unheard of for you to have your own place and it's $800. Like, it doesn't happen. And if it did happen, please show me, because I'll get, because I'm paying almost 1,000, paying what, almost 1,500. That shit ain't fun, but sometimes you gotta. It's better. It's sacrifices you have to make. Like, you know. That's why, like, right now I'm doing. I got the 1099, but I told you most of my stuff is just from straight investment. So like, and I got lucky. That's why I'm not like a big like, oh, do this, do that. Like, I got lucky on my shit. I just invested at the right time, and everything just went up. Like, up. It started with having 1,000, and you're having like 1,000. You see your account just going up. Went from like 5,000 to like 7,000 to like 9,000, and it goes to 12, and you're like, holy fuck. That was the first fucking time I had over like 10,000 in my bank account. I'm just like, dude, what the fuck do you do with $10,000? What the fuck do you do? Most people would just fuck off and try to go shopping, right? And I'm like, holy, and I ain't gonna lie, I probably was thinking like, yo, I'm about to go shopping or some shit. But in reality, I'm like, I need to reinvest this shit. Like, I just need to reinvest it, because I'm like, I was just feeling how it's crazy how you can invest like 2,000. That 2,000 takes you from 4,000, and just kept, literally that shit just kept going up. But it's not like that anymore, because with crypto, everybody knows about crypto now. This is when the pandemic first started. So people knew about crypto, but like not everybody knew about crypto. So it was best to get in, because people were so naive, just throwing money like Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? What is Ethereum? What is Solana? And I'm like, why don't you just read the white papers? And people, when they hear the word white papers, they're like, wait a minute, white papers? And it's like, dude, most of the white papers are pictures anyways. Like, and if you want to get somewhere, you're definitely going to have to be reading a lot. Like, I tell people, I used to look at books and say, oh, that's a fucking waste of time reading a book. And you realize, like, holy shit, there is so much information in books. Like, yeah, you might. And I used to be the guy who used to fucking keep a book in my bag. But don't get me wrong, there's a lot of books. I mean, I'm not the type to be like, oh, this is a book I recommend or anything. You just got to start finding your niche of books that you like to read, because something I might like might not be something you like. But the main reason how I learned how to like invest in all that was pretty much just self-taught, like just going through the trials and tribulations. Like, so for instance, you invest like $100, you lose that 100, but I needed that though. I needed to lose money to make money, because at this point everything was just sweet. I was just making money, so I didn't know what it felt like to lose money. But once you know what it feels like to lose money, you're like, holy shit, you start to really look at like, how'd you lose the money? And you start to read the charts, like, oh, because it dipped and then it went back up. And you start to follow patterns. So there's a pattern of it going down and going back up. You're like, wait a minute, okay, so that's a pattern. If it goes down, then it goes up. So if it goes down and it goes up, that means it might go back down again, right? And it's just little stuff, little science like that you start to understand. You're like, holy shit, I think I got every day. You just gotta be on. I was on it like every fucking day. Like while people are sitting around fucking watching other people on YouTube and shit, I'm just on the stock market. Like, yep, reading these charts, reading the white papers, like literally telling people like, yo. But I wasn't like, this is the thing. A lot of people was scamming though, because it was just like, hey, use my referral code to sign up. We both get $20, and I'm like, I get it, right? You know. But my whole thing was I didn't have no referral code. I was just telling people like, yo, go invest, go download this app. I could have been like the referral code guy, just making, because yo, some people, oh my, I'm not even, it's sad how much people were making like millions, especially with the rug pulls. Like, and if you guys don't know what a rug pull is, that's essentially like, that's a rug pull is something that anybody can do. You just gotta essentially create your own coin, which a lot of people were doing at the time. They were just creating their own coins. Then you would either inbox somebody on Instagram or Twitter, say, hey, can you promote this coin for me? They'll promote it. Everybody starts buying it, throwing hundreds of thousands in there. Guess what? You just take all your money out and pull that rug. You fucking go. Like, so much people were doing that shit. And like, that's why crypto had a bad rep, because people were like, oh no. Then you got honeypots too. So honeypot it's even worse, because a honeypot, you'll get pissed because you can see your money, but you can't take it out. It's just stuck to the honeypot. So you'll be going in there, and you'll see like you'll invest something. Next day you'll see that and you're like, wait, where's my money? Like, your money's in that honeypot and it's not going nowhere. It's just stuck because that person just locked everything. So now your money's in a honeypot. So, but a lot of people don't understand those. Luckily, I knew about rug pulls and honeypots, so I was like, okay. And it was so tempting because there was some coins, like you had like somebody made a coin. It was like called like Bear Coin or something like that. It was like actually about bear, and the thing was, he's an idiot too, because he could have actually made million. He could have been a fucking millionaire, which he scammed a lot of people, so he made money, but he could have been like a fucking millionaire. Because his idea was he was making a coin that you can buy his beer with. And he actually had the beer and it had the coin on it. I was like, dude, that's a good idea, but why are you fucking doing rug pulls? Like, thinking today, like, that could have been something. Like, because just imagine, he could have took that, probably added some liquidity. So liquidity is pretty much an amount of money that's in a stake that's in your coin. So for instance, if I made a coin, I would have to add liquidity to it for it to make sense for any like person with knowledge to invest in it. Because if they don't see any liquidity, they're like, I'm not fucking investing. Like, if it's not at least, and you want to put at least $1,000, and that's what separates the like the bullshit coins from the real coins. Because most real coins with the liquidity, it has at least $1,000 in it. Like, if you see anything like a coin that doesn't have 1,000, trust me, just be very careful with that. Because once you send your money on the crypto exchanges, you can't call nobody. You can't be like, or call the places. That shit's gone forever. There's just too much stories about people getting sold the dream, you know. And I was thinking about making a coin. But my whole thing was I was just too focused on trying to understand the markets before I did all that, and before we got through with that. But yeah, man, that's essentially the rant on working a 9-to-5, what I do, and how and why I feel like I could actually make this video and shit. Like, I'm not gonna like I have my other phone. I'm gonna say no, it's not. My phone's it's dead. It's gonna die. I was gonna show you guys some big statements, but that's not that serious. But yeah, so it's a nice day out. Sound off, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, man. I'm out of here. Sound off, man.